Like, Hasan, do a live IQ test. Do a live IQ test. If you're so goddamn smart, do a live IQ test on your Twitch.
He doesn't say that he's a fucking super genius. He says, I'm an entertaining himbo. That's kind of like his whole shtick. Is this the first time you've watched him? On top of that, IQ test? What? Why waste your time? That'll take precious minutes. Pull out the calipers, Sargon. Just pull up, measure your skull. Live on the stream. Come on. You know what else I'm down with? Some Hasan Piker. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's all time. Okay, I wanna see this. I wanna learn from Sargon of Akkad. He hasn't. Has he ever produced a video on Hasan of this length before? An hour and 42 minutes. There's going to be a lot of research. There's going to be a lot of criticism. There's going to be a lot of it's going to be a deep dive. It's going to be an absolute deep dive. He's going after Twitch's daddy.
I believe this is live, but I'm told this is live, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Mad scuffed.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? So why am I doing a live stream on a channel that YouTube has killed? Well, good question, isn't it? I tried to re-upload the Politics of Starship Troopers after taking out the offending copyright.
Does this get better?
She's insane.
Oh, thank God. I was like, yeah, this is... I mean, of all the things I criticize you for, Sargon, your audio quality is usually pretty sharp.
And that's very interesting because I've been watching a few of his videos and he's got himself into the position where he has to pretend to be the expert on everything. Whereas, of course, in real life, Hasan Piker is an expert on nothing. He's not even an expert on being some douche bro on the internet. He's actually not even the best douche bro on the internet, or even...
Where do I go for that, by the way? Where can I get my certification? Like, I can bro out. I'm pretty hetero, you know. I can do that. I can be a douche. I can be cleaned. Where do I get this?
He's literally incompetent and can only parrot a narrative someone else has fed to him. He's been given an approved narrative and he will parrot this angrily at someone like Joe Rogan for daring to think differently. Anyway, so I won't waste any further time. Let's get on and watch a bit of Hasan Piker.
Nature of COVID policies. Oh, yeah. Who's he talking to? Oh my God. Isn't this that psycho? Ayaan Ali. Yeah, this chick is insane, dude. She's like this.
Ayaan Ali. She is effing insane. According, I'm used to not swearing on the podcast, so I've trained myself not to swear. But she's insane. Is she? Is it because she's an Islamophobe, Hasan? I wonder what made her an Islamophobe.
Super reactionary anti-Muslim lady, isn't she? So she got female.
I love the way you can tell there's been an edit there where he's gone and looked up a Wikipedia. So I just can't get over how BreadTube are just like not even Wikipedia scholars. They don't know about something and then they Google it.
I didn't know he was a BreadTube. I guess, yeah, sure. Everything is BreadTube. It's all and nothing. It's all consuming. And what's wrong with him looking up information in the middle of the stream to learn things instead of just saying whatever comes to mind?
Get the first Wikipedia up and go, oh, right, well, that's what Wikipedia says. Therefore, I have spoken, and this is concrete and factual now.
Female circumcision, and obviously talked about how horrific that is. Talked about how horrific that is. The divisive nature of COVID policies. Oh, yeah. Who's he talking to? Oh my God. Isn't this that psycho? Ayaan Ali. Yeah, this chick is insane, dude.
Is he just playing it over again? If you didn't understand from the first time that I did this, here's the scene again. As you can see, there's a difference between me and Hasan. I can play things twice.
She's like the super reactionary anti-Muslim lady, isn't she? So she got female circumcision.
She got a female circumcision. Is that how we frame that, is it, Hasan? She got one. She's decided one day, I'm going to get my ears pierced. And she went out to the piercing parlor and got her ears pierced. That was a forward choice. That was how she decided it. She, the 12-year-old girl who's held down by a bunch of women in her village and with a rusty scalpel, shunk, here goes a a huge section of your genitalia, and as a woman, probably, you know, the most important part if you ever, I don't know, want to enjoy sex, I suppose. Like, she just got it, did she? She got it.
So, two parts here. I don't want to say the words out loud that I agree with Sargon of Akkad, because it's Sargon of Akkad, and I don't want to have to taste vomit this morning, so I'm not gonna say that, but yes, that's definitely a horrifying aspect of this story. There's no question, absolutely no question about that. The other thing is, though, is the concern trolling that you get from Sargon of Akkad. It's almost uniquely, if it's going to justify his xenophobia or his secret desire for an ethno-nationalist state. But that's usually when he ramps it up. That's when all of a sudden it's like, well, you know, no, I care deeply about the plight of women, of all women, and the plight, of course, uniformly. I just don't believe we should allow these people, you know, which people, into the country. That's all I'm saying here.
Very interesting framing, Hasan. It's not something that was done to her against her will by people who thought that was what should happen because of, I don't know, very regressive religious beliefs. I mean, I'm pretty sure you were an atheist yourself, aren't you? It's weird.
And
It's
obviously,
weird.
they talked about how horrific that is.
Weird.
Now she makes
Strange.
her living off of just straight up, literally fucking just talking about how she's the Candace Owens for Islam. That's it. Okay, she's literally
Hey, is that an insult? Like, Candace Owens seems to be famous and successful. And I mean, I did an interview with Candace Owens in London a few years ago. And we were walking along, and there were black people on the street stopping her and saying, "Thanks for everything you're doing. I think you're brilliant." Does that ever happen to you?
The fuck does that anecdote mean about anything? Who fucking cares? Like, oh, okay. Well, thanks for changing the world. Fucking Malcolm X. Good job.
Black people ever go, "Oh, Hasan, thank you, man. You really helped me with my life"? Or do they look at you and think, "Oh God, here comes another one to tell me I'm inferior"? Bloody hell.
Candace Owens of Muslims. All right, which is funny because
She's not a Muslim. She's an ex-Muslim because they took her genitals away without her permission when she was a child. And you ascribed it to her as an act of will. You're not a good person, Hasan. And I mean, like,
He never did that at all. What he said is that this is a factual thing that happened, but it wasn't. This is like a voluntary thing that she decided to have done.
like, am I supposed to be surprised when you're the guy who's like, America deserved 9/11? I just can't get over your worldview, Hasan. It's genuinely incredible how you seem to be such a thoroughly bad person, defending thoroughly bad people against the victims of the bad people, and you're like, oh yeah, she is a bigot. Same.
because you are about to find out how r/atheism Turks are. Just wait. All of my American watchers and my international audience think that they're being like edgy atheists. Just wait. Turks on the internet are the most edgy fucking atheists, or act like they literally sleep with a copy of Quran and nothing in between. Okay, they're
Right. So Turks, according to Hasan Piker, are radicals. They're insanely radical atheists or insanely religious Muslims. Very interesting. Thank you for that nuanced view, Hasan.
they're either the edgiest, like the worst atheists, like literally, or
I just realized this is like a react on react on react on react. I'm gonna have to have someone reacting to mine who's a conservative, and then someone else on the left is gonna have to react to that react to that react. Like, how many layers of react can we get? I mean, there's a challenge for you, you know, all you cons out there, like Salty Cracker. You wanna watch me watching Sargon, watching Hasan, and then, you know, someone else can take on that one, and then watch the next layer, and then we can have a layer below that, and let's do it. Let's have, how many do you think we could have a human centipede of reactions, of react Andes? We could just have like 20 of them, and then all of us have to kind of like pause and be like so what he did to him, to her, to her, to him, to them, to him, to her, to them, was pretty fucked up. I can't remember what was said, but I'm pretty fucked up.
they are, you know, they lie and tell you that, you know, everything is haram and they don't touch anything and whatever. But most of the really religious Turks are not going to be in my audience anyway. So you're gonna see a lot of fucking insanely
Human stream repeat.
anti-Muslim and Islamophobic Turks in the chat right now.
So the Islamophobic Turks are anti-Muslim, but the Muslims themselves, the ones who are lying and say they sleep with a copy of the Quran and never touch anything haram, I mean, are they like the far right in the Muslim world? They've got to be, right? If you're a progressive guy and you're very forward thinking, they've got to be like really reactionary and far right. And yet,
this is an hour and 42 minutes. Is it on the same? It is. Is it the Joe Rogan one the whole time? How long is Hasan's video? It's 26 minutes. It took you an hour and 42 minutes. Oh my God. Is it just because you're stopping every 5 seconds and then you're taking his like sarcasm or hyperbolic statements? It's like, there's only one of two things that this thing can be. It's just, it's A or it's B. And it's like, oh, is that so, Hasan? Strange. Strange you would say that. A and B, two categories. Unusual that. Well, let's hear some more.
And they're like, yeah, so I think there might be something not so perfect with these lockdowns. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe they don't want to do exactly what Fauci wants. It's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes them bad people, Hasan.
Put in place when we thought it was the Black Plague. I mean,
Somali, Arabic, and Dutch, thank you.
The Spanish flu, and it's not the same thing. It's still terrible for the people that get it and die, and the people that have poor health, and the people that have underlying conditions and comorbidities, but it's not what we thought it was going to be, but we're still treating it like we treated it a year ago.
Right. Joe Rogan's assessment there is completely correct. That is a true and correct assessment.
So we got level 4. We got 4 levels here. Joe Rogan, the original one. You know, this is the alpha streamer. And then we got Hasan, you know, react-lording to that. And then we got Sargon react-lording to Hasan, and then it goes down to me. So I'm fourth on the peed here, on the streamer peed. So again, your move. So someone else, if you're watching this, you could be the 5th. You could be the 5th.
First came out, and there is definitely evidence that could suggest it is intentional, that the Chinese Communist Party drummed up fear over COVID, and it may well have been some kind of tactic. But the point is, we didn't know how bad it was going to be.
That's been so thoroughly debunked. Are you kidding me? It's unusual, this, you know. They weaponized it in a lab. They created it for everybody, and then they released it, and then, you know, a whole bunch of them died, but they were worthy sacrifices, of course, to be done. And then of course their economy slowed, and then the world economy slowed, and then all the purchasing power of all the rich nations that buy all their products suddenly stopped buying their products because they didn't have as much purchasing power, and so it was all part of the master plan, you see. And perfectly reasonable. All of this, perfectly reasonable.
And it was looking like, oh God, this could be Spanish flu levels, which is really, really bad. And it turned out that more than 99% of people survive COVID. And the average age of death in the UK is 82, whereas the average life expectancy in the UK is 81. So in retrospect, when we normally have something around like, what was it, 17,000 flu deaths a year. So, and on a bad year in the 30 to 40,000 range. So in a normal year where we have tens of thousands of people dying of the flu, all of them very, very old, because unfortunately that's what happens when you get into your 80s and 90s, is you die of a disease. It happens to literally everyone. Just everyone dies at some point.
Yeah, but fucking the senior side, holy shit, fuck the old. And yeah, they die from the flu, and now they also die from COVID. Like, it's addition by addition, you know? It's not like one negates the other. You don't get to say, like, well, come on, there's like 10,000 people, 20,000 people who die from the flu every year. It's just like, it's just the natural part of life. And it was like, oh, okay, but now more people are dying from something that is actually preventative. There's things we can do to prevent that. Like, grandma doesn't have to die, Sargon.
So Joe Rogan's point is this isn't actually proportionate to the threat to society, and perhaps maybe we should start considering going in the direction of Texas and Florida and all of those other places, Sweden that never locked down, and actually just carrying on with our lives, because it seems to be that we took we got spooked. We got scared and everyone reacted, and now we made mistakes. I mean, like, China isn't even in lockdowns now. Where would you point to, you know?
But what bothers me now is,
why is that? Why aren't they in lockdowns anymore, Sargon? Did you look that up? Did you want to know the reason why? Because they got it under control. Because they did the thing and it worked. So the idea is, then why don't we do the thing and then it works here too? Except if you're an American, you didn't. And there's a lot of reasons for that, you know, gross incompetence, the fact that there's states' rights over federal rights, the fact that there's not really a way to federally mandate that every single person in every single state stay at home or do massive lockdowns, or give them the financial support to stay at home, which would have been a really big thing, which again is not something that applies to people who don't have to do frontline work. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons.
That it's not even possible to have a debate about that.
Right.
Anytime.
Man, these recommendations seem like red letter media. It's just fun stuff, right? But Richard Wolff, Big Joel, what's going on here, Sargon? It's probably for hate watching, I'd assume.
People say you should be suspicious of
Hasan's
government.
angry
Don't give
face.
government any powers, because once they have
This
that power,
bitch is saying something I didn't hear from the media. That means she's wrong. I can't believe she would sit there on Joe Rogan's podcast and be wrong. You can see Neanderthal brain slowly processing it. The gears are clicking over as he chooses food.
Oh, you're really bad at this, Sargon. Fuck me. You're really bad at this. Stick to the things where you just talk to the camera and just be all transphobic and xenophobic and ethno-nationalist and shit. Oof. I was like, this is some of the most brutal React Andy shit I've seen. And you're also trying to knock down the king. There's a reason the dude has like 30,000, 40,000, sometimes 200,000 people watching him do this live. Like this is kind of his gig. Holy shit.
Can't falsify such a thing. But the point is, Hasan, the point is you are not an expert on anything. You actually don't know anything about this subject. You haven't done any research. And it seems like you actually don't follow the news, really. It kind of seems like you've been paid off. That's what I find really interesting. You seem to be paid off.
If only we could track the money. If only there was something in the corner, that would demonstrate how wealthy he is. If only there was a number, like a magic number, one that we could have public access to. If only there was only one way to know where he gets his funding. But we'll never know that. It's not for us to know.
To defend the power structures against those who would challenge them.
The guy makes millions of dollars off his job. He puts the number in the top right corner. There's like 45,000 subscribers. Each one of that is like $4 or $5. Like, holy shit, do the math. Pull out a calculator. That's not even accounting for all the sponsorships he gets and the fact that Twitch pays him every hour on the hour to run ads and shit like that. Like, it's not, there's no secret to this. He doesn't need deep Antifa money to make these commentaries. My word. He gets millions and he's super rich. Fuck.
And I find that really weird. It's weird that there's an audience for such a thing too.
Think they're smart. I don't know how else to describe this. What we are watching is two fucking absolute morons having a conversation, thinking that they're actually brilliant. It is.
Oh god, that is the irony of all of this, Hasan. I just can't get over it. Hasan, do a live IQ test. Do a live IQ test. If you're so goddamn smart, do a live IQ test on your Twitch.
He doesn't say that he's a fucking super genius. He says, I'm an entertaining himbo. That's kind of like his whole shtick. Is this the first time you've watched him? On top of that, IQ test? What? Why waste your time? That'll take precious minutes. Pull out the calipers, Sargon. Just measure your skull live on the stream. Come on. He'll get a lot of hits. That's content. That's premium content. Okay. I mean, if you measure him calipers, he will measure his fucking skull circumference for you. That will happen live on there. There's a challenge. There's my Sargon of Akkad challenge. Carl, if you're a man of your word, you should buy some calipers, mail them to Hasan, and he will measure his skull live on stream for you. And then and only then you'll know if he has pure Aryan skull shapes.
I mean, loads of people would watch. It's going to get mad views, bruh. Going to get loads of donations in. No, you can't get donations from me, but, if you're watching my stream, but you'll get mad donations, bruh, as you're defending Biden and proving to everyone that you've got the biggest IQ.
So weird watching this, and millions of people watch this shit.
God, the question, right, would really be, would he be sub 100? Because there's a part of me that thinks I would put money on it, that he would do an IQ test live on Twitch and actually get 96 or something.
You're still talking about this pseudoscience racist shit has been fully debunked. Fucking Dragon Ball Z power levels. No, just absolutely. I can't even do his accent right now. I'm so flabbergasted. But you think he'll actually score a 96? Oh, come on. Yeah. What if he got a 70? God damn. What would that teach us, huh? Again, calipers. Get the fucking calipers, Sargon.
Like, what are you guys doing when you think when you like lower your tone of voice and talk slowly that like automatically the things that you're saying are going to sound clear and cohesive analysis?
I love it. If you talk slowly and clearly and normally.
God, you're so boring.
And hang out indoors, which is arguably more dangerous. Okay, but that's also...
Which it's not, and that's not what he's saying, but carry on.
That's like saying, okay, well, people will then go hang out outside and break the rules and hang out outside. Limiting random traffic among strangers is the goal. That is precisely why you shut down dining, okay? You shut down establishments where you congregate at with other random people.
Unless, of course, you work for a Hollywood movie studio or you're at Amazon or any other kind of power structure that Hasan Piker finds to be worthy. If you're outside of that...
Hasan Piker, known lover of Amazon. Basically, the entirety of his persona has been to say how fucking based Amazon is. If you watch his streams, it's all he goes off about. Hates unions, hates workers, shits on them all the time. He's basically like, hey, Amazon workers, why are you trying to unionize? I don't get it. Do you want to pay union dues? You can keep that money. Every month you get a free paycheck in the bonus that you would have if you given it to union dues. But yeah.
It was pretty fucking shitty, as a matter of fact. But ultimately, it was like normalizing around around this time last year. Joe Rogan was like going back to at least having some like leftist figures on his show and shit like that, even though he still had a bunch of dumbasses who he agreed with.
Wow, it's almost like you're saying he's a centrist. It's almost like you're saying he's some radical centrist who weighs up the merits of both sides, and the one that seems to be talking the most sense is the one he agrees with. What a bad person. Joe Rogan should...
Are you unironically defending centrism right now? Man, like, there's times like I just take such a break from watching Sargon of Akkad because, again, he's so boring, but I forget like how far right he is. We've talked about IQ levels not being up to snuff, and now this, like, as if like, no. Centrism is not a fucking living joke. It's not as if you're just constantly going along with status quo and, avoiding any kind of true conflict of trying to join any kind of movement or support people who are marginalized. I mean, you're just like, well, I'm just gonna stay perfectly centered, balanced, as all things should be.
Really consider that he's just a bad person. That's what he needs to do.
On the show as well, but now...
Why, yes, I am a socialist. How did you know? Honestly, Hasan, you are a public embarrassment. Like this is genuinely... Okay, it's not as funny as when you said that the US deserved 9/11. That was funnier, honestly. That was actually funnier. But this is almost as funny. This is almost as dumb.
Okay, there you go. All right, they were wrong. They were fucking wrong. And they've been right since like, April of last year. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, Fauci admitted to lying about masks to keep them for the frontline medical workers. I can understand why, because of that people are skeptical of what he says. Fair. That's fair. That's fair. That was part of the reason, okay? And it is...
And if you carry on down that line and start considering the facts of the matter rather than the narrative of the matter, you might find that actually, oh God, maybe there are a few questions to ask about Fauci.
Fair to be upset about that. I think that is fair to be skeptical about that. But if that skepticism...
Have you just BTFO'd yourself here, son?
...does not extend...
Oh my God.
So folks, were you persuaded by...
He's like a 67-year-old dude. Why are you using these words, Sargon? God damn. You were alive during the Confederacy.
Hasan Piker? Like I said, there are no super chats on or anything like that because obviously this channel's demonetized. Oh, by the way, I finally got an email from YouTube about the monetization of this channel. They sent me 2 years, nearly 2 years after I appealed the demonetization of the channel. They were like, we're not going to monetize it because of policy violations. So I actually went back and went through every video that had, some sort of policy violation, and I've deleted them. And so I'll reapply and see what they do. I'm sure they'll tell me no, but it'd be quite.
God save the Queen, fucking Sargon. God save the fucking Queen. Let's keep Britain for the British.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like, just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project, podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our glorious gods, Xander Corvus and I'm Rav, may you shower us with glory and smite our enemies. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we serve at your leisure, your grace. To our lords, Tofox, Bisexual Black Gamer, Jimothy K. Meeble Beeps Jr., Ryan Lubin, Trevor R., Jeffrey Lamb, Alexander Thaler, and Hans Josephine, we shall carry your banner high into the fields of battle. To our Knights of the Round Table, Timothy Hart, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophagic, Saren 42, Chronic de Hemphog, Kale Kotka, The Great Pudini, Bone Jenny, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, J. Fraser Cartwright, Thomas Barrington, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chitoro, Goofalankius, Zach Christensen, Nicholas Marks, Yopi, Josh Mickelson, Melissa Murphy, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Constance Joyce Lacheris. We lift our glasses of ale and we salute you.